Hi! In today's video, we'll be learning a cool topic which is map function in Python. And with the help of Python code, we'll be learning topics like what is map function and what is its syntax, how to use it with Lambda functions and how to use it with inbuilt Python functions. And we'll consider special cases like how to use it with multiple iterators. So, let's go! To understand the concept of map function, let's take a UDF where we are calculating the square of a number and we are going to apply it to a list of numbers. So let's say here we are having our UDF which is known as square function. It takes a number called n and then it returns the square of a number as an output. Now suppose our list of numbers is, let me call it my list equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, and now to apply map function, I will write it as, let's say, output equal to map. Now here I am going to write my square function. That's it. And now as a second argument, I am going to write my list. What it will do, it will give one by one every single element to the square function, and as an output we can see it will return a list. So let's write list bracket output. And now we can see every single element of this list has been squared. So 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16 and so on. You know, in map function we can also use lambda expressions. To understand lambda expressions in detail, you can refer to my another video. The link is in the description below. So for this, instead of writing a UDF like DEF square function, we can also write a lambda expression. Let's see, here let me call it result 2 and I will write my map. Now over here I will write my lambda expression. So I will write the keyword lambda and here it's going to take the input x and as an output it will return x square. And now over here after a comma, because this is my lambda expression which takes the input as x and returns x square, I am going to pass my list which is my list over here. And now we can see the result. So let's write list bracket result 2. We can see it's giving the same result over here, the way we did it as a UDF. You know, it's not necessary that we should always have a user-defined function or lambda expression to be written inside a map function. We can also use built-in Python expressions. Let's take an example. Suppose over here we have our list of numbers which contains negative as well as positive numbers. Let's try to apply an inbuilt function called ABS which returns absolute numbers. That is, it will return the positive numbers as positive as it is, but it will make the negative numbers positive. That is, minus 20 will become 20. So let's write this thing map. Okay, let me write it list map and over here I'm going to write my ABS function. That's it, because ABS is an inbuilt function. So that's why I'm not giving it a UDF or lambda expression. So over here I have written my ABS and I am passing it to my list. So let's see the result. See, all of these numbers are now positive. Similarly, we can also apply text functions or string functions to our lists. Suppose we have another list called hello, how are you doing, where each and every single word is an element. Now suppose we want to capitalize each and every single word. So how do we do it? We will write list map. Now we will use str.upper. This str.upper is an inbuilt Python function which converts every single text to uppercase. So I'll write str.upper and now I'm going to pass our my list. And let's close the parentheses and here we can see every element is now capitalized. You know, it's also possible that map functions can be applied not only to one list but can be applied to multiple lists. Suppose here we have got two lists, list 1 and list 2, and we want to multiply consecutive elements of both the lists. That is, we want to multiply 0th element over here with 0th element in list 1. So let's say 1 multiplied by 10, so we want the output as 10. 2 multiplied by 20, so we want the output as 40. So for which we can use lambda expressions. So let's write it as list map and now I will write our lambda expression as lambda x comma y because here our input are two lists, list 1 and list 2. And now I will write our output as x multiplied by y. And as a mapping thing, we will provide as list1, comma, list2. And now we see the result. Each and every single consecutive element of the list has been multiplied with each other. Okay, this was a very simple case where both the list1 and list2 both were having equal number of elements. That is, both the lists were having 4 elements. But what if the number of elements in both the lists are not same, and we write a lambda expression and map function? So let's see. Here again I am creating our list. So in list 1 we can see there are 4 elements. However, in second list, let me just remove 2 elements. So over here list 1 contains 4 but list 2 contains 2 elements. And now if we write our lambda expression again, because see here first 2 elements can be multiplied with each other, but what happens to third and fourth element? Using map function, because there is nothing for third and fourth element in second list, that's why it is not going to return anything at all. So that's why here it has multiplied 1 by 10 and returned 10, and multiplied 2 by 20 and returned 40. For 3 and 4 it has multiplied it by nothing, and because it had nothing for it, that's why nothing is returned. In the beginning of the lesson, we saw that in map function we can give a user defined function like this. Over here we have our square function which is returning only one element. But what happens when our user defined function is not returning only one thing but multiple things? Let's take an example. Suppose over here we have a function called my function, and it takes only one input argument which is x, but it is returning 2 elements which is x multiplied by 2 and x multiplied by 3. Then let's see the output. Suppose I have our list as list 1, and now if we apply map function to it, map my function, and if we write list 1 to it, and let's write here list, then see it is returning a tuple now. So over here it's a list of tuples. So the first element is this one, because we had the first element here was 1. That's why 1 multiplied by 2 is 2 and 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. Then over here 2 was supplied to the my function. That's why 2 multiplied by 2 and 2 multiplied by 3 is a tuple. So when a UDF is returning multiple values as a output of map function, we will get a list where each and every single element is a tuple. So that was all about map function in Python. Let us know in the comments below how did you find this video, and stay tuned for upcoming content. Until then, see you soon.